Hi guys, I'm back. I haven't made videos in a while because I had to deal with a few things in my life, but now I'm good. So I guess I'm gonna be making videos again, hopefully every week. And also, good news for you. Another reason there's gonna be a lot more videos coming, is I dropped out of college. What a surprise! And I'm not gonna say that I did not drop out of college to pursue a full-time YouTube career, but whatever. So let's get into this week. Okay, three things before we talk about this week. Three things that happened last week that I need to talk about to get you a little bit into context. First of all, on October 1st, Pluto went direct in Capricorn, obviously. So Pluto, sorry, had been retrograde from late April up until last October 1st, and it had been revisiting all the personal growth that we did through the archetype of transformation, renewal, and rebirth, Pluto, from January to April, right? So now we see all the good and all the bad we did, and how we can make this personal growth again with a little bit more understanding of what we're doing. Second thing, the Sun and Ceres had an exact conjunction on the 7th, so yesterday as I'm filming this. And we're gonna talk more about this throughout the video, but it basically means, well, nobody talks about Ceres. I don't know why nobody talks about Ceres, because it's such an important planet. I'm gonna make videos about Ceres. It's a moment where we realize that we need to make a lot of personal growth, right? That we need to create things slowly, step by step, things that we love, things that we like. And it's in Libra, so it has to do with people. It has to do with having a multitude of options and paths that we can take up. And then Venus went retrograde on the 5th, and this is very important. Well, everyone's been talking about this if you follow any astrology memes pages on Instagram or anything. So I'm going to break this down a little because I'm also going to talk about it a lot on this video, because there's a lot of aspects to this Venus retrograde this week. So Venus was in September, it was in Libra, right, at the beginning of September. And it went further into Libra, it went into Scorpio, and then on October 5th, it stopped, and it went backwards, right? So this is what retrograde means. It's going backwards. It's revisiting all the stuff that happened in September, and then it's gonna go direct again, and it's gonna go through this part of the sky, the end of Libra, the beginning of Scorpio, again, so we can rebuild all this stuff that we've now understood and learned. Now, Venus is... so when a planet goes retrograde, we reset our patterns regarding what this planet does. Venus rules Taurus and Libra. It rules the heart chakra, and it has to do with appreciating the beauty, Libra, and the value, Taurus, in other people, and also things and patterns, psychological patterns we have, and being able to choose the ones that are good for us, and of course we are good for them, right? So it has to be a mutual relationship. It can't just be good for us if it's a person, and cut out what is bad. This is what this Venus retrograde is. The last Venus retrograde was at the end of winter, beginning of spring 2017, and was in Pisces and Aries, but this one is much more important because it's in Libra, a sign of Venus, and Scorpio, a sign that's opposite Taurus. So it's, also very strong. Venus is very strong in Scorpio because it's very uncomfortable there. So this is a reset of how we relate to people and our concept of value. And a lot of people will be coming from the past, like old friends that we don't talk to anymore, exes, careful with that. And because it's the energy of Libra and Scorpio, we're gonna be able to see much more clearly and rethink what these people give us, what we give to them, and what toxic behaviors we have with people and things and money. 'Cause, Venus, Taurus, it's also money, has to do with anything that's attributed value. Okay, we're going to talk more about that. So first things first, on Monday, the 8th, we have something happening that's been coming for a while. Mars is coming out of shadow. So I haven't made videos this summer, but I think I talked about Mars going retrograde last spring. A lot of retrogrades this year. So Mars went retrograde in Aquarius, and then a little bit in Capricorn too. And this is a reset of our pattern of action. We are resetting, the way we act, the way we do things, the way we move. It's in Aquarius, which has to do with circles of people, unlike Libra, which is a one-to-one situation. And in Capricorn, it was more like, what do we want from life, looking at things from the bigger picture. It was mostly in Aquarius, though. And we have understood that we need to move into new circles, that we need to meet new people, move into new places in our lives, do new things. Aquarius is a sign of new things that we don't know, things that are outside of our world, right? So Mars is coming out of shadow, right? It went retrograde, then it went direct, and now on Monday, it's going to be past the point where it went retrograde. So we've done the whole retrograde cycle. We've done the whole rethinking of how we do things, where we go, and what people we hang out with, and what groups, what circles we want to go to, what places in our life. Now is the time to actually move forward with that. And I would advise you to do that quickly, because when Mars goes into Pisces, it's going to be different. It's going to be a little bit more, action will become a little more stagnant. So that's it. Mars is coming out of shadow. Good. So find new places that you need to go in life. You probably already know by this point, and go there. On Tuesday, the 9th, we have the new moon in Libra, right? So every year, there's a new moon in every sign. And this is kind of, again, a reset. A lot of changes, a lot of things to do with our concept of value and people this week. It's a very Venusian week and a very Scorpio week, so there's a lot of these archetypes are everywhere this week. It's a renewal, right? A renewal in Libra, a reset, a rebirth in Libra, which is the sign of other people. And depending on where this falls in your chart, which I'm going to talk about that later probably, or just make an Insta stories, but I want to talk about houses very soon. Depending on where this is in your chart, it also has to do with the exact area of your life that this affects, because it's not just people, it's people in a certain area of your life. So maybe you have Libra in your 6th house, and this has to do with your work or your routines, or maybe you have it in your 10th house and it has to do with your career, or maybe in your 4th would be your family, in your 12th house it would be the subconscious psychology. And that's it. Now, it's not just a new moon, it's a new moon where the sun is still conjuncting Ceres, and of course the moon will too. And both the sun and Ceres are starting to square Pluto in Capricorn, right? So again, this has to do with us starting to see a lot of self-destructive patterns that don't allow us to grow in a better, healthier way, taking things step by step and keeping options open, because it's an air sign, right? It's Libra, all air signs have the aspect of multiplicity, openness. So that's Tuesday. On Wednesday, the 10th, Mercury is moving into Scorpio. Mercury in Scorpio is a very deep analysis. And right after it moves into Scorpio, it's going to oppose Uranus in Taurus. This is important. So Uranus is it's a planet of change like Pluto, but in a different way. Pluto is metamorphosis and transformation. Uranus is just doing new things and leaving old things behind, upgrading. And now it's in Taurus. It's going to be in Aries again for a while this winter, but it's been in Taurus since May, and it was in Aries for the past 7 years. So while Uranus was in Aries, this very slow concept of leaving old things behind and moving into new things in our lives was focused on the idea, the concept of personality and identity. Now that it's in Taurus, we're more focused on quality and substance, right? So we want to, whatever house Uranus at the beginning of Taurus falls into in your chart, it's this area of your life. I would really, really recommend that you take a look at your chart if you want to understand this videos a lot better. But yeah, so there's this whole wanting to change things for more stable, substantial, just better things in your life. And Mercury is going to oppose Uranus. So we're gonna have a very deep, different perspective, a contrasting analysis of how we want to do that and where we want to do that. Now, as Mercury moves into Scorpio, so will the Moon. So the Moon in Scorpio will be, the Moon in Mercury will be, conjunct, opposing Uranus and Taurus. So this might come as a sign of realization that affects you emotionally. But I wouldn't worry too much about it, because then the Moon's going into Sagittarius and everything's going to go much smoother. Later that day, the Moon is going to conjunct retrograde Venus, which in turn, later at night, is squaring Mars in Aquarius. So we've talked about Venus going retrograde. We are reconsidering the people in our lives, and Mars in Aquarius also has to do with that. The fact that these two planets are squaring while the Moon is conjuncting Venus means that we're going to be really feeling that we need this change of people. And it could be other things, of course. Look at the houses. Always look at the houses planets fall in. But generally speaking, for most people, this is, we need to change the people we hang out with. That doesn't mean that we need to ditch everyone in our lives, but there are some people that we have toxic relationships with that we need to cut out. Not just people, patterns, and places that we go to that, maybe, I don't know exactly, I can't put an example right now, but I mean, maybe bars that you go to, maybe any activity you do, anything you do, any psychological pattern, any people in your life that are toxic, now's the time to cut it out and move into something new. And this square with the Moon conjuncting Venus really makes you feel that need. And it's a turning point in this evolution. Then on Thursday, the 11th, we're going to have, the Mars-Venus square is happening very late at night on Wednesday, so it's technically Thursday. And then we have a really nice aspect. The Moon sextiles Pluto in Moon in Scorpio, sextiles Pluto in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn sextiles Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune in Pisces trines the Moon, which in turn is also conjuncting Jupiter a little later, and Jupiter is sextiling Pluto, not Neptune anymore. So throughout this whole year with Jupiter at the end of Scorpio, because it's gone retrograde at the end, the middle of Scorpio, it's been there for a while. We've been having this really nice aspect of understanding ourselves psychologically a lot better, acknowledging what's going on in our lives, acknowledging how we are transforming and what is the right path for us. And Jupiter is not aspecting Neptune anymore. We've learned the relationship between our psychological understanding of ourselves and where we need to go in life has given us all it could give us. We've already understood that, but Jupiter's still in the middle of that. This is going to be a day where we're really going to understand what's going on, what's happening very deeply. The Moon's going to be in Scorpio, so it might really affect you emotionally again, because a Moon in Scorpio is very intense emotions. But I would advise you to not take things too hard. Just let things happen and understand that change is needed. On Friday, we have the exact Sun-Pluto square. So, we're gonna face some demons. A Sun squaring Pluto in a natal chart or as a transit is always when not properly handled, self-doubt, self-destruction, even self-hatred. But if handled properly, it's a very strong sense of self-criticism. It's also your self-destructiveness being an obstacle to what you want to create. So the Sun's in Libra, again, has to do with other people probably, and it has to do with keeping options open. We need to understand whatever it is that we need to do in life that is in trouble with self-destructive behaviors that we have. However it is that we need to grow, there's not a single way to do it. There's many, and there's many people that can help us with that, and we need to be open to that. And also Mercury and Scorpio, still opposing Uranus, is going to sextile Saturn and Capricorn, which in turn has been trining Uranus for a while this year, which means changing for better quality with a lot of integrity and looking at things from the bigger picture. So this aspect makes integrity play a very important part in the analysis, the deep analysis of how we want things to change. And then on Saturday, the moon's going to be in Sagittarius. Yeah, the moon goes into Sagittarius on Friday midday. The moon still's going to be in Scorpio while the Sun and Pluto square, so we might take things... it might be difficult to digest Friday morning. Then as the moon goes into Sagittarius, we're going to have a lot more optimism. Things are going to flow much easier. Then on Saturday, the moon is still in Sagittarius and it's squaring Neptune in Pisces, so this is a perfect day to do nothing productive and just go out. It's not a productive day. It's lazy, confusing. It can be just fun. You don't have to understand what's going on Saturday. Saturday is a day, just have fun, go out. And then on Sunday, the moon's going to move into Capricorn at night, and it's a really nice way to end the week. It's going to conjunct Saturn and trine Uranus in Taurus. So we're going to come back to, Saturn and Capricorn is this castle we've been building since December. We need to rebuild our lives, looking at things from looking at the bigger picture, thinking in long-term terms. And on Sunday night, we are connecting a lot to this perspective and this way to process things. So that's it. I hope you have a great week. I hope I help you. If you like this video, share it with someone that you think could also benefit from understanding their cycles a little bit better. And I'll see you around.